Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel T-Spot. In this video, Franklin has been compared to Prometheus, the Greek titan who gave fire to mankind by taking it from the Olympian divine beings. Jesus chained Prometheus to a rock where an eagle would daily eat his liver after it had grown back the previous night, condemning him to an eternity of suffering for the offense. Franklin's demise is strikingly similar to that of Prometheus in that he enters a never-ending cycle of liver abuse and self-incarceration as a result of his descent into drunkenness and agoraphobia. As time goes on, he loses more and more of his support. It's a horrible method for finishing a program that such countless dark watchers like. Andrew Ricketts, a hockey player, said that Snowfall made the bold decision to show how black love survives or dies in the midst of black ruin. The agonizing awfulness of Franklin's conclusion stems from this yearning. It makes sense that a lot of people would want him to have a good life. However, happy endings are only found in fairy tales and not in real life. After Franklin Saint passed away, the story of the devast in our community has persisted for a very long time. After getting so close to his money that he could almost taste it and having his mother ruin his chance at a happy ending, Franklin begins to drink himself into a coma as he tries to hold on to the little money he has left. After Sissy kills Teddy, Franklin rushes into a bar to use the payphone and update Veronica. He then calls Teddy's handler Steven, who tells Franklin that he needs to deliver Ruben to the CIA if he wants to survive. Before calling Steven, the bartender notices Franklin's distress and gives him a shot on the house. This is the first time we've seen Franklin take a mind-altering drug on his own. Despite Ruben's warnings not to trust the CIA, Franklin obeys orders and turns over the KGB spy. He also goes on a complete emotional rampage as his world unravels. Franklin demonstrates that he is employing the same tactics that Teddy used against him on his own people, shattering the optimistic outlook I had for him previously. He frantically asks Leon for the $3 million he has figured out how to save in return for some rubbish that would see him become a fractional proprietor of Franklin's land business. Leon acknowledges it for what it is and makes an effort to persuade Franklin to consider what transpired with Sissy. Franklin declines the offer because doing so would be disrespectful to her sacrifice. Franklin goes full Teddy, yells, "I'm the explanation you all niggas got this fucking cash in any case," and says he'll take it genuinely if fundamental. Leon is protected by his people, so Franklin must take a different route. Franklin then goes to Sissy's preliminary, where she enters a blameworthy supplication, is denied bail, and is arrested. She has become a martyr now that she has publicly acknowledged her guilt and accepted her punishment. She receives 2 visits from Franklin while she is detained. After his life collapses again, he recommends challenging the allegations the subsequent time. When Franklin's business partner, Paul Davis, arrives at the residence to discuss what appears to have previously been a discussion regarding selling his investment in the Spring Street development, Franklin discovers Veronique has been working behind his back. He comes up to Veronique, yells at her harshly, then grabs her by the neck to make her even more afraid. Franklin makes one last arrogant move by telling Veronique that he sold all the properties to his mother's former employer out of resentment. He also says that because he built the shit, he can tear it down if he wants to. Franklin, who is still high, rushes to the bank to try again to get money, but he soon finds out that Veronique has already taken money out of the account and gone because he has no other options or equity. He goes back to his mother to ask that she sell the house and give him the money. She stays quiet the whole time, and Franklin begins to let completely go as he understands he will not be getting anything else from her. The edge accentuates the division between the mother and child as the camera records their experience. The gap in their attitudes and relationships is represented by the frame's empty space, and at one point, Sissy's head even receives a light ring. He won't acknowledge liability and is driven out by a cop while faulting her for everything. Franklin is still drunk, helpless, and in debt 3 months later, and the banks are after his money. He is still living in Sissy's house. After failing to locate Berenic, he meets Top Notch, who is ready to move on with his life. He tells him about one more discovery, which is where Peaches is. The money he had stolen from Franklin helped Peaches, who lived in squalor only 25 miles away and was addicted to drugs, make ends meet. Franklin kills Peaches trying to recover his cash, then enlists Miguel, a repairman, to open the safe containing what's left of Peaches. As Miguel opens the safe, Franklin shoots the junkie who shows up, making the situation even more difficult. Fearful, Miguel opens the safe and finds only $12,000 inside. After losing, Franklin murders him as well. By jumping ahead 2 years, we get a glimpse into everyone's life as they try to distance themselves from their actions. The D, which is out to catch Lewis, is avoiding her. With enough time having elapsed, Hayamara has now contacted Gustavo, who is presently utilized as a wrestling trainer, giving no less than one of our hero a cheerful consummation. A further year passes and Franklin is demonstrated to be a drunkard loner who is hunching down in the home in the midst of decay and various cities he's posted on the entryway. Since Wanda left for Ghana not long after Sissy was detained, and it is implied that he heeded Sissy's guidance and left with his significant other before long, Leon is in the city when he finds Franklin depicting the wild neighborhood bum. Leon and Franklin take a stroll through the neighborhood where we first met them after all these years. Franklin continues to attribute his current circumstances to someone else, despite his resentment and stubbornness. It is clear that the aftermath of the show's events had a direct impact on the black culture of 90 Seconds. Berenice promised Franklin after she gave birth that she would properly raise their child and end the curse without disclosing where they were. Franklin, however, is by all accounts caught in a circle as he blusters madly about being checked and the way in which everybody is having intercourse with him since they know who the fuck. They return again to Cho's odds and ends shop where they began. Leon informs Franklin that he has established a legal clinic to assist his people as incarceration rates continue to rise in response to the Len Bias law, which tore through the black community and declared it to be Jim Crow once more. Franklin is asked if he wants to help, but when they get to the outside shows, it's clear that he doesn't care. Instead, he asks Leon for money, which was the most important thing to him. And what ultimately led to his demise was his lack of happiness and health due to his pride and greed. When they return, the police arrive at his residence prepared to seize it. Franklin lets Leon know that he is at last free, yet just on his conditions subsequent to being left with nothing by any stretch of the imagination. Before leaving with a bottle in his hand, he tells Leon that he is proud of him and that Leon is his best friend as Leon calls for him. While Kendrick Lamar's Pride plays, the tragically true story of Franklin Saint comes to an end. Gratitude for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.